Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Gavin. Thank you very much for stopping by. Today we're continuing to look at the victims and maybe victims of the Zodiac Killer. On November 16th, 1969, a 15-year-old boy was birdwatching near Mullholland Drive in Los Angeles, California, when he discovered the body of a fully clothed young woman leaning up against a tree near the deep ravine. The identity of the young woman could not be established, so she became informally known as Sherry Doe. Officially, the Los Angeles Police Department knew her as Jane Doe 59. In June of 2015, Ann Jurvetson was contacted by friends who had been perusing the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System, also known as NamUs, and had found a morgue photograph of a Sherry Doe that looked similar to her estranged sister. Anne submitted a DNA sample for comparison to a sample retrieved from blood belonging to the deceased. A year later, in April of 2016, a formal announcement was made that the body of Sherry Doe had been conclusively identified as Reet Sylvia Jurvetson, a 19-year-old Canadian woman who had been in Los Angeles for a few weeks prior to her death. In the summer of 1969, Reet had left Canada to visit a man named John or Jean in California. On October 31st, 1969, Reet sent a postcard to her parents written in their native language of Estonian. She expressed that she enjoyed it in California and encouraged her parents to stay in touch with her. This postcard, along with a second which was sent to her friend, were the last pieces of communication her family and friends had with her. Over the years, her family attempted to contact Reet, but those efforts proved fruitless. Her family never reported her missing, making the assumption that she was making a new life for herself. She was, they said, an adventurous teenager. When Reet's body was discovered, the evidence at the crime scene suggested that she had been transported to that location in a car. Then her body was dragged out of the car and rolled down the ravine. She had died of multiple stab wounds, primarily inflicted on her neck. Her death was approximated to have happened 2 days before the discovery of her body. In total, Reet's body had been stabbed over 150 times in the neck, chest, and torso with a small folding knife. There were defensive wounds on her hands. She had not been the victim of robbery or sexual assault. She didn't have any drugs or alcohol in her system. She was killed approximately 2 hours after she had eaten a meal. Police initially suspected that Reet had been a victim of the Manson family because a woman closely matching her description, called Sherry, was reported to have been seen in the company of the Mansons prior to her murder. Adding to their suspicion, Reet's body was discovered just 6 miles away from the site where Sharon Tate, Jay Sebring, Abigail Folger, Wojciech Frykowski, and Stephen Parent were killed just 3 months prior. The killing of Reet Jurvetson has been connected to the Zodiac Killer, albeit very loosely, mostly because of the timing of a letter sent to the San Jose Police Department on November 21st, 1969. In the letter, the Zodiac, who had changed his MO from gunfire to brutal knife attacks, claimed 8 victims in November. Citizen detectives and web sleuths have long tried to identify all 8 crimes, many of whom have speculated that Sherry Doe, now known as Reet Jurvetson, is one of the 8. For me, I don't think stabbing someone 150 times, mostly in the neck, fits with the modus operandi of the Zodiac Killer, no matter how knife-happy he became. I agree with Reet's family and other cold case detectives that John, or Jean, is the most likely suspect. Unfortunately, he has never been found. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe to my channel. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below.